Anime is incredibly popular, but the amount of choice might overwhelm those who are just getting started. Despite the fact that anime is one of the most popular forms of entertainment in the world, it can be incredibly difficult for potential fans of the genre to actually start watching. This is largely due to the fact that the most popular anime tend to be incredibly long, with some even being made up of over 1,000 episodes. Consequently, a good start at anime should be relatively short, allowing for potential fans to easily catch up with the plot without the daunting and fatiguing task of watching over 1,000 episodes. So, here are top 10 animes for every beginners. Re:Zero starting life on another world. Despite only receiving one season, at the time of writing, Re:Zero starting life on another world is one of the most popular anime of the past few years. It has 25 episodes, with the characters of Rim and Ram being particularly widespread across the anime merchandise. The series follows Subaru Natsuki, who is suddenly summoned to a fantasy-like world. Just after arriving, he is killed while trying to help a young half-elf he befriends, Emilia, who is a candidate to become the next ruler of the kingdom of Lugunica, only to revive some hours in the past. After dying sometimes, Subaru realizes that he has the power to turn back time after his death. He resets to a checkpoint, allowing him to alter his actions and try again. Parasite the Maxim. Parasite the Maxim may be one of the most underrated anime of the past decade. Based on a classic manga series from the 90s, which have 24 episodes. Parasite tells the story of a young man named Shinichi who wakes up to find that his right hand has been eaten and replaced with an alien parasite. The alien, eventually called Migi, is part of an invading force that has been taking over various humans. Migi, however, was unable to take over Shinichi's brain and eventually forms a close bond with his host. He must learn to coexist with the creature if he is to survive both the life of a parasite and a human as part monster, part person. Erased. In a similar vein to Parasite, Erased is one of the most underrated anime of the past decade. The 12-episode series is a dark and intense story that follows a 27-year-old man called Satoru Fujinuma, who possesses the ability to rewind to avoid a tragedy. However, after a murder in his present brings back forgotten memories of his childhood, Satoru rewinds to his childhood past. The series is as intense as it is heartwarming, with Satoru having to use his knowledge of the future in order to solve the murder in the future and catch the killer. Death Note. As is the case with several anime titles on this list, Death Note is an iconic and highly influential series that is perfect for beginners due to a compelling and closed story. In Tokyo, a disaffected high school student named Light Yagami finds the Death Note, a mysterious black notebook which can kill anyone, as long as the user knows both the target's name and face. Initially terrified of its godlike power, this book gives Yagami the power to kill anyone whose name he writes in the book, with Yagami using his power to enact vigilante justice. Yagami's actions eventually bring him into conflict with an eccentric detective known as Elf, leading to a compelling game of cat and mouse between the two characters. Assassination Classroom. Earth is left in jeopardy after an enormously powerful tentacled creature suddenly appears and destroys 70% of the moon, leaving it in the shape of a crescent. The creature claims that within a year he will destroy the planet next, but offers mankind a chance to avert this fate. In Class 3E, the end class of Kunyagigaoka Junior High School, he starts working as a homeroom teacher, where he teaches his students regular subjects. The Japanese government promises a reward of 10 billion yen, i.e. US $100 million, to whoever among the students succeeds in killing the creature. The Promised Neverland. The promise was made to end a long war between humans and demons. The promise was an agreement where each would live in their own separate worlds, the human world and the demon world, where human breeding farms were set up to provide food for the demons. By eating humans, the bright and cheerful Emma is an 11-year-old orphan living in Grace Fieldhouse, a self-contained orphanage housing her and 37 other orphans. They lead an idyllic life with plentiful food, clean clothes, games and the love of their mom, Isabella. One night, a girl named Connie is sent away to be adopted, but Emma and Norman follow with her favorite stuffed animal toy. At the gate, they find Connie dead and discover the truth about their existence in this idyllic orphanage, to be raised as meat for demons. It is the most underrated anime, which have 2 seasons worth watching. Attack on Titan. Anime Attack on Titan is one of the most popular due to its incredible first season, with many referring to it as the Game of Thrones of anime due to its intense and graphic plot. The series is set in an apocalyptic future in which humanity hides behind a walled city in order to keep out the Titans, who are these giant creatures that feed on humans. The series has some of the most compelling mysteries and intense anime action scenes of the past few years, meaning that it is certain to hook any new anime fans. One Punch Man. Anime One Punch Man started as web manga that eventually took over the world after it was the subject of a massively successful anime adaptation, with the property even spawning its own video game. The series follows Saitama, a man who has trained his body to such an extent that he is able to defeat enemies with one punch. The series is a satire of the hero and anime fighting genre, and it truly is fantastic with its material. The series is also relatively short, which makes it an easy series to catch up on. Dr. Stone. Here is educational animated series. Dr. Stone's first season is 24 episodes, and there is bound to be another season. The plot: a mysterious energy wave turned all people to stone, and 3,700 years later, the brilliant teenager Senku Ishigami awakens from his stony silence. He's in a new stone age, and with the power of science and faith in the human race, he's going to rebuild everything, one rediscovered invention at a time. He's the kind of guy who can make functioning light bulbs in a 200,000 BC style setting. Cowboy Bebop. Last but not least, anime Cowboy Bebop is one of the most iconic and important anime of all time. Taking inspiration from Western imagery and stories, Cowboy Bebop is essentially a Wild West story that is set in space and brings together a group of mismatched characters on adventures across space. The series only lasted for one season and a movie, but has remained popular in the years since its release. If you're thinking of starting to watch anime, this would be a fantastic jumping on point. So, I hope you liked the video, and let me know in the comments section which is your first and favorite anime. And if the video helps you to start watching anime, then do like and subscribe to my channel.